Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and a bit different today in the terms of, yes, I've done this a few times now. I've done my match reactions from the old space, back in the old house, but today I've made a whole lot of things. I forgot to go up the road with my SD card and I'm having to do it through the phone, but you know, something's better than nothing. So we may as well talk about it here. It might be a bit shakier, it might be a bit different visually, but we can get used to it. It's not the end of the world. Celtic 3, Dundee United 0, 3 league clean sheets on the bounce for Celtic, and what was one of the most impressive performances of the season for me. You know, this is a far more positive match reaction than it has been for the majority of the season. Even at the weekend when we won, I came on and I was talking about how there was still a lot of negatives in that first half performance, and there was still a lot of things that didn't look too reassuring in the game. Today I felt like it was a complete performance, and there were still periods of the game where, you know, I think Dundee United had 10 minutes of nice football. They could have scored a couple goals. Take that aside, which happens in every game. You know, you expect that in football for the other team, the opposition team, to create chances. But you take that away, and today was fantastic. It was a brilliant performance, and it's exactly what we needed coming up for what is the biggest game in the season at the weekend. So we'll dive in. We'll talk about the game from start to finish as we usually do. We'll talk about the 3 things we learned. I feel like that's the only thing that we can do. And it's going to be a tough one because my arm is already sore holding it in the air. So and thank you all for 23k. We managed to hit it. We were like 70 off, and I made the video for the preview the other day, and I said if we could hit 23k by the end of the year, it'd be amazing. We hit it the next day. So lads, thank you very much, and lads and ladies, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. But let's get on to talking about the game. This is actually quite a nice solution. This makes it comfortable. I can speak with ease. My right arm isn't in pain. So we'll go for it here. We'll just try it. And I'm sorry about the quality, but we'll be back to normal when we talk about the Rangers games and such and everything in the new year. The new year's going to be big, hoping to get a new series starting the channel too. But 3-0 today in the first half performance. Let's talk about that. It was amazing. And I remember at half time mailing a few of my pals and such, and then even on Twitter. It was a beautiful performance. I think that as John Collins would say, the passing, the moving, the tempo was fantastic. We were going forward with ease. We were managing to break down Dundee United. We had a few shots on goal, and ultimately it was the best opening 45 I've seen all season. Half time, I was saying it's the best performance I've seen all season. And that's what we've lacked this season. You know, we've lacked playing well in the opening 45. We've not wrapped up games. We've made it difficult for ourselves heading into the second half. We've not broke down teams. Today, we've done it. And Dundee United are not a bad team, of course. They've had a really good season coming straight up from the Championship. They possess a lot of talent, especially you look at them going forward. McNulty, Shanklin, Clark, 3 good players, 3 players capable of scoring goals. And a solid defence, which has already proved to us once this season and proved to Rangers this season when they played at Tannadice. They can be so difficult to break down. But everything was going right in that first half. Frimpong was doing what I said in the last video. Get him to that byline a lot more. That was one of the criticisms I had in the last game. I said we need to exploit him running that byline. He does so well getting down there and getting the ball in, and he was doing it a lot more in this game. It looked great. And we need to exploit that once again at the weekend. Turnbull and Soro, my God almighty. They're just the 2 greatest players I've ever seen play for Jongre. Let's not get carried away, but they were amazing today, running the show in the middle. And even before Soro got his goal, which we'll come on to, you know, the first sort of 20-25 minutes, the way he was breaking up play, the way he was getting about, his movement and off the ball, everything. Brilliant player. Honestly, he's changed the game for Celtic. And Turnbull as well, he's passing, the way he set up the first goal, sorry, the second goal I think it was. Was it? Sorry, Turnbull, the way he scored the second goal. And the way, you know, you seen the wee chip ball he sent through, what I was getting on about. The wee chip ball through to Griffiths, and the chance where Griffiths could have scored and Edouard could have scored the rebound. Everything about Turnbull, he just opens up the play for everybody. And the way he gets it out wide, and the way he manages to bring himself into the game through the middle, everything he does right now is perfect, and it's completely changed the game for Celtic. So that first half performance was complete in so many ways, and defensively we didn't have to worry too much. Of course, the big question mark around the starting 11 when it came out was we've dropped Hazard. A lot of people were questioning that, but look, we spent £5 million in Barkas. I think Neil Lennon was always going to give him a run back in the team, whether or not we want to, or if you believe we should sign a keeper in January, which I would like to see us maybe do. You know, we've got to give him that chance again, and today he looked comfortable without being tested too much. A couple of dodgy moments. I think his positioning for the chance that took out Julian was weird, but you know, it was always going to happen at some point. Hazard was always going to get dropped, and Barkas came in, but defensively we didn't have to worry too much in the first half. and everything moving forward was just a delight to watch, and it's something we've not been used to seeing in the opening 45 minutes of play this season. So fair play. The goals, Soro. I mean, what can this man not do? That was I was going to say Stevie Gerrard-esque, but let's pick another player. It was Paul Scholes-esque. The strike up the top corner, beautiful. And it was weird because 5 minutes before he took the strike, I was just swiveling some thoughts in my head, and I was thinking it'd be great to see Soro get his first goal of the day, and then literally 5 minutes later, bang, he scores that. I nearly jumped off my seat. I did jump off my seat. It was brilliant. And it's good to see him get off his mark, and everything he does. The way that Turnbull and Soro have brought such encouragement and motivation to this team, there's been a sense of positivity. It kind of radiates from both Soro and Turnbull, and you see that in everything, from their actual football ability to their facial expressions to their body language. Everything they do brings such a radiation of positivity to the team, and I couldn't be more happy for the two of them at the minute. They've took their chance, and they've shown why for so long Celtic fans were crying for them to get a shot in the team. So it's good that they've been freed. It's good that they're doing this, and I think that's 4 in the last 5 for Davy Turnbull as well, and his goal was well took. Look, right now we're in a much better position than what we were a month ago, and I'm not saying everything's sorted before we get the Rangers fans who have been commenting recently, oh, now everything's okay, you're all back in Lennon again. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a very big shift in positivity over the past couple of weeks, and it's certainly leaving me in a more confident place for the weekend, but we'll talk about that when we come to it. Second half performance, I think it did leave a little more to be desired. We started quite poorly, and the big talking point is Julian. Will he now be available for Saturday? With him being stretchered off the park, so was my hopes of a decent performance defensively at the weekend. I am nervous now to see either Beaton or Duffy play. Because the reality is I don't think Julian will be fit. It doesn't look good when the player's stretchered off the park, and it was quite the clattering it took as well. It came from a mishap defensively, something we've not said often this season, is it? And you know what, it can't be helped. He's went in and he cleared the ball off the line, very well done. Would you have rather seen them score than lose, Julian? A lot of people will be asking. Look, we kept the clean sheet, it's massive, but I hate the fact that we've lost Julian now. And hopefully, if he does miss a game at the weekend, hopefully he doesn't miss much more after that, because he's so vital to our defence, and he's made a world of difference since coming back into the team. So hopefully he's not out for long. He's really had a tough gig with it this season too, with injuries, so I don't want to see him out for too long. But kind of struggled for the first 10-15 minutes that second half. Dundee had a couple of good chances, but once we calmed it down and we got the ball back, and we started playing the way we were in the first half, it was no issue again. And Neil Lennon made the correct subs. I think it was the right idea to get players like Edouard and Griffiths and Turnbull and Soro off the park when he did. Let's save them for the weekend. God knows if they'll all start at the weekend, but let's save them anyway. And we made intelligent changes after going up 3-0. Edouard's goal was very well taken, and once again it highlights the relationship between Griffiths and Edouard, which is improving again. So second half, I can't complain too much, and overall it could be potentially the best 90 minutes of football, in my opinion, that we've seen this season, especially in the league. So I couldn't be much happier. So 3 things that we've learned then. Right, so first things first, I want to talk about something that I highlighted on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure to at RyanStephenF. There'll be no graphic on screen since I have to do everything through my phone today. But look, I think that we're going to look back on the victory against Lille in the last game of the Europa League group stage as one of the most important parts of the season, and so far to this point probably the biggest moment of the season. Yes, we've won the quadruple treble, fantastic. Technically that's last season's, isn't it? So in the 2020-2021 fixtures, I think that game against Lille, that victory could be the biggest moment. It was the turning point. The fact that Lennon gave Turnbull and Soro the run has changed their fortune so far this season. And once again, let me clarify for people who will try to put words in my mouth. That's not me saying that because they are now in the team and because we're playing well, we're off to go and win 10 in a row. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is it's changed everything about the way we're playing at the minute. It's given us a glimmer of hope at least, and it's done the world of good for us. And it all came down to that being a dead rubber game. And look, I titled that video a very pointless match preview. That is what I titled the video, because it looked on paper a pointless dead rubber game that didn't matter at all. But when it comes to the end of the season, it could prove vital as to what changed Celtic's fortunes. They two coming into the team has been So good for us. And it's no coincidence, in the good words of my mate Ryan McGinley, there's no coincidence since they came into the team we've not lost a game. They have been so good. They have ran the middle of the park. And it will make an interesting battle for the weekend, where I believe Rangers have been so good against us in the last 2 years at being better in the middle of the park. They have dominated the middle of the park. Davis, Arfield, Kamara, Jack, all these players, they've dominated the middle. But now we've got a new kind of partnership there with McGregor, Soro and Turnbull. It'll be very interesting to see if they all start, how that will compete against Rangers at the weekend. So I think that game, the fact that they were given that chance, could prove vital, because if Celtic weren't in the position they were in, if that game meant a lot more, would Lennon have played them? Would we be sitting watching them play right now? Big question. So aye, very big moment in the season, I think. The second thing I think we've learned is, look, I have had a doubt in my mind about whether or not players will start against Rangers. Will Lennon go back to playing the old guard? Will he continue to play Scott Brown in these games over the likes of Soro? After today, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what needs to happen is Soro needs to start the game on Saturday. He needs to. Before the kick-off today, I was like, okay, I think Turnbull will definitely start. I think Soro will be dropped, and I think Brown will come back in. But after that performance today, I don't see how Neil Lennon can watch on and go, you know, I'm going to go back with Brown. And I understand how good Brown is in these big games and what it means to have a character like him in the park and all the rest of it. But if we've learned anything from the last 2 years of Old Firm fixtures, is that Scott Brown is dwindling out, you know, especially technically, from impacting these games. Soro can bring so much to the table on Saturday and be so vital to us going and trying to challenge them for the title. We need to start him. And I think it would be ludicrous if we don't. And I still think that he's going to end up starting Brown. But after today, after that goal and after his performance off the ball, he needs to start the game. And that's simply said. I don't have much else to add to that. What else can I add? Because I've spoke so much in the video already about him and about his performance today in particular. But if I just don't see in any world how he doesn't start then after today. So let's hope that Lennon makes the right decision. I think Turnbull and McGregor are certainties. I think they're definitely going to start the game. It comes down to that other one now. Does he go with his captain? Does he go with Scott Brown? Or does he go for the new blood? The guy who's been in the team now for weeks on end and performing well week after week? Big question. And I don't necessarily have a third thing that we've learned that I haven't already covered in this video, but let's touch very quickly on the game on Saturday, and this is going to come under my third thing. I absolutely hate myself. I hate myself. I'm starting to believe we could actually win the game on Saturday. And I'm not going to throw out any bold, outlandish predictions quite yet, and I don't think I will altogether. I think I'll remain a bit reserved this time in my predictions for the game. But the way that you know, they players in particular have turned it around for Celtic has got me thinking that we can get something. And the importance of the game should be bearing in the mind of both the manager and players going into it. So today's performance has given me a lot more confidence. That's what I'd say I've learned. Compared to whether if we played this game start of the month, would have had no confidence whatsoever. But now we're playing it, well, we are technically playing it at the start of the month, but it's the next month. You get what I mean? I feel a lot more confident, and I hate myself for it, because I just, deep down, I know I'm just going to be let down again, aren't I? But we'll see. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll have a video outlining the kind of prospect of the game and previewing the game, and perhaps a special guest as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, that's the three things I've learned. That's my match reaction for Dundee United and Celtic, or Celtic Dundee United. A 3-0 win, 3 straight clean sheets, another victory in the last game of 2020. It's been a fantastic year, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I'll get to see it in the video tomorrow, but thank you so much for the support this year on the channel. It has been a year like no other, and I'm not one for all the soppy stuff and all the rest of it. I think you've known that if you've followed me for so long, but 2019 was a terrible year for the channel. I made literally no content. Well, I'd made content, it just wasn't a great amount, and it wasn't great at all. This year, I have tried to put all my work and effort into making it a better place for people to come and watch stuff. And I intend on doing the exact same thing in 2021, but you guys have encouraged me to do that. The support, the numbers, everything has been absolutely unbelievable. So, in case I don't get a chance to say it tomorrow, thank you very much. And also have a very good new year. Enjoy Hogmanay, however you may celebrate it in these tough times. And I look forward to doing more in 2021 and hopefully growing the channel and getting people involved and everything. You know the script. But if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.